And hello, welcome back to my channel, Health No Filter. My name's Tristan Lowe, professional personal trainer and sports massage therapist. And the title of today's short episode is Weight Loss Plan. As you can see in the thumbnail there, I'm holding up this little sign. These three words mean a lot to a lot of people, and everybody that's involved in health and fitness of some description, and those that aren't, will have seen something like this over the last 40, 50 years, okay, which is a long time. All right, let's get into it. All right, weight loss plan. What is a weight loss plan? It's something that you've decided on your own, or you've decided with some help from a professional, a friend, a work colleague, a family member, something you've seen on television or on YouTube, on the internet, for how to actually reduce your body weight. What you're going to do about it. Okay, now, the first thing is to take into consideration, and that's that if you've devised a weight loss plan by your own account or with someone else, you've already made a decision to do something about it. When you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, who you're going to do it with, how you're going to go about it, when it's going to start, when's it going to end. Okay, so that's a form of self-reflection, a decision which has been forced on you by poor health, or forced on you by someone else. Someone else has just said, okay, let's get you sorted out. It's a form of acceptance. Okay, I need to do something about it. John needs to do something about it. Jill needs to do something about it. All right, that's actually quite a good start. The fact that you've considered it, written it down, or you're watching this episode must mean that you've got some interest in losing weight, or you know someone else that wants to lose weight and you might be able to help them. Okay, first thing to do after you've made the decision, write it down. Put it on a notepad, piece of paper, I suppose in today's climate, onto your smartphone. And what you can do is save it and also tag someone else into it. Put someone else into your thoughts and ideas of what you're going to do. What that can do is hold you accountable. You're holding yourself accountable because you've involved someone else. Not that they're going to train with you, but they're going to be your friend at the end of a phone. It could be someone that lives other end of the country, you used to go to school with or college with, that you're still friends with. It could be a next door neighbour, doesn't matter. You've now involved somebody else in a phone call, a decision, a shared notes or a file, something like that. You don't have to do that, but it can help, because that friend of yours, that colleague, that trainer can make you accountable or hold you accountable. Of course, sometimes strength in numbers. Not always, but sometimes strength in numbers. All right, so you've made your plan, you've made your decision to reduce your body weight by 7 pounds, half a stone, 3.5 kilos. It's not a lot. Yours could be more. If you've got a weight loss plan for the new year, we're 2 weeks into the new year now, that still gives you 50 weeks to do something about it this year. All right, so you've thought about it, written it down, shared it with someone. Right, what are you going to do? Where are you going to start? If you're 3 stone, 42 pounds overweight, or 2 stone, 28 pounds overweight, you are, and your friend, colleague, family member, or trainer is now aware that you are as well. Okay, here's where you start. Ready? In the kitchen and in the bedroom. Yep, in the kitchen where the magic happens, and in the bedroom where the magic happens. Don't get it wrong, that's another subject. But on this one, reason being, you need to eat healthy and sleep well. When you start losing weight and losing excess body weight and excess body fat and visceral fat, the first thing you must address is the kitchen and your bedroom. You set your kitchen out, where you cook, and where you cook for yourself, your family, your friends, your missus, your husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, doesn't matter. That is a very, very important room. It's the joint most important room in your apartment, flat, house, whatever it is. Okay, it's not your living room, it's not your bathroom, because you could actually wash in the kitchen. I don't say you should do, but yeah, you could. Go through your cupboards. Go through your cupboards, all your food cupboards. Go into your fridge, your freezer, and get rid of processed food, high fat, high salt, high sugary food. Okay, next thing, go into your bedroom and declutter your bedroom. Make your bedroom a dark, cool, simple room. There's only two reasons, there's only two things you should do in your bedroom, and the main one is sleeping. The other one is, you can figure that out for yourself. You need to declutter your kitchen and declutter your bedroom. That is one of the best things you can do to start losing weight. And it's actually not something that people first think of. You want quality nutrition and quality sleep. All right, because there's no point you joining a health club or a gym or taking on a trainer, if your kitchen and your bedroom are full of clutter and full of things, okay, visible or even non-visible that you're aware of, that can slow down your process, slow down you starting your weight loss plan. Okay, so we've looked at the kitchen and the bedroom. The next most important room is where you choose to train. All right, now that's a broad subject. Train indoors, outdoors, back garden, leisure centre, gym, with a personal trainer, join a sports club, swimming pool, anything like that. They are your rooms. Even if you go outside in your local park or your local riverside walk, anything like that, technically that's another room for you to train in. You've got a multitude of places you can train in. It's not just your local leisure centre or your gym or your personal training studio. So suggestions are the third room, or we'll call it space, that you think about after the kitchen, after the bedroom, is where you're going to exercise. Now, as a professional personal trainer, it's incumbent upon me not to actually guide you or hoodwink you down the path in the fact that you can only train with a professional. You can train on your own, a friend, a family member. Right, your progress will almost certainly take longer. Yeah, 9 times out of 10. If you're going to train on your own with no guidance, no experience, or you're going to train with your friend who's got no guidance and no experience, forget qualifications, just experience, is probably going to take you longer. Yeah, you're more susceptible to stopping it, you're more susceptible to injury, demotivated, lack of self-discipline. Now, if you work with a professional, the fact that you've spent hard-earned time and money with your professional trainer or therapist of some description, a physiotherapist, you know, a sports therapist, personal trainer, the fact that you've spent hard-earned time and money is going to make you more accountable just for that reason alone, even if you don't want to. Yep, okay, so your room to train is wherever you choose. Yep, okay, now the fourth subject, now bearing in mind, I'm just scratching the surface on the things we should do to train. If we talk about the kitchen, that's nutrition. I could be talking for the next 24 hours about nutrition and still just scratch the surface. We're talking about the 4 or 5 steps that you need to do in your weight loss plan. The next thing is you have to say to yourself, okay, when do I start? Well, yesterday is too late. Yeah, today can be too late if you don't do anything about it. The best time to start your weight loss plan is the very first opportunity after you thought about it. You could think about it 11 o'clock at night when you go to bed, and you could start it at 6, 7 a.m. the next morning by eating a healthy breakfast. Yeah, or getting up if it's a Saturday or Sunday and you've got no work, going through your kitchen, going through your bedroom and decluttering. Walking around your space where you live as well, outside your home, and looking at a place where you could train safely. You know, if you live in inner cities, be careful, roads, traffic, people. But if you live in the country as well, same thing, be careful with roads and traffic. But find a place where you can train safely and that others can be aware if you're training where you are. You know, not just the women, men as well. Yeah, always look after your physical health and well-being by making someone aware, letting someone know if you're going to go off the beaten track to train, hiking, trekking, riversides, anything like that. Okay, so, all right, you're going to start at the very first opportunity after you thought about it. Don't think it's Thursday, I'm thinking about getting healthier and fitter. I'm going to start my weight loss plan next Thursday, because now you're a week behind. You've already made a decision. Yeah, you know, build up that self-discipline from the very beginning. The longer you leave it, the self-discipline that is a long time earned, you know, it's just going to take longer anyhow. So we're 2 weeks into the year. We're into the 3rd week into the year now, excuse me. So you've now got, 49 to 50 weeks left. That is a lot of time to get yourself healthy and fitter. Yep. All right. Weight loss plans. Always incorporate 2 elements of fitness. Okay. Cardiovascular health. Yep. Look after your heart, your lungs, all your organs. And resistance training, musculoskeletal strength. They are both very, very important. One may be more important than the other from the offset, and I would say possibly cardiovascular, because if you can't get oxygen, the oxygen-filled blood cells moving around your body, the oxygen into your body and the gases back out again properly and efficiently, okay, it's going to be hard for you to do the strength training to a degree where you can go through a strength training plan, anything between 35 and 60 minutes, because you've got such poor cardiovascular health, you've got such poor aerobic fitness that you can't deliver enough oxygen to those big muscles that are a mile away from your heart and lungs. So you stop because you get out of breath. You know, you're onto your second exercise. You've done a basic leg exercise, some body weight squats, and you're now going into some press ups on your knees or even on your feet. And it's not just the strength. It's not just your muscles, ligaments, tendons, and bones that isn't strong enough. It can be that you're so poorly cardiovascular conditioned, that you stop. And it's not because you're not strong enough. It's because you run out of breath. You get to 75, 80% of your maximum heart rate just by doing some basic, safe, early stage strength exercises. So I would suggest you either start with the first 4 weeks, a mix of cardiovascular and strength exercises in your fitness session, or you separate them. Monday you go walking, Tuesday bodyweight exercises. Wednesday you go swimming, Thursday bodyweight exercises. Something like that. If you're stuck for time, then put them in the same session. You can actually do enough resistance training with high repetitions, 15, 20, 25, 30 repetitions with short recovery periods in between, which is almost going to become and feel like a cardiovascular workout because your heart rate's going to go high. But you'd have had to actually build up a balanced nervous system as well. Your nervous system is going to start playing havoc when you first start training. You might feel dizzy, wobbly, jaded. You might feel like you want to throw up. You need to lie down. It's not because you've not got enough muscle in the arm, your quadriceps aren't big enough. Your nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system, isn't used to the shock. Yeah, your homeostasis has always been that of poor health, and your body's become accustomed to it. Yeah, so I would say when you get like that, if you run out of breath, get dizzy, get wobbly, stop. Make sure you're hydrated. Yeah, don't overheat as well. Don't wear too many clothes indoors when you're training because you're not used to it. Let your body warm up with movement. Okay, so you're into 4 weeks in training and you've mixed up cardiovascular exercise one day and strength training another day. Okay, again, if you're stuck for time, you put them in the same session. You have 10 minutes on the treadmill, 15 minutes on a cross trainer, 5 minutes on a rower, then some bodyweight exercises or machines if you're in your local gym. That's another subject as well. All right, now what I would say for week 5 to week 8, month 2, yeah, you up. I wouldn't say you up the intensity, yeah. I would say you up the regularity. If you've gone from nothing and you're now training 2-3 times a week, by week 5, certainly week 5 to 8, up it to 3 or 4 times a week. Your brain, your nervous system, your heart, your lungs, your body, you as a personality are now becoming used to exercise. You haven't mastered it, you've now become used to it. You're not scared of it anymore. Yeah, you're not worried that you're going to get out of breath or break a sweat or have a sore muscle the next day. You've got past that first barrier when it comes to the exercise side. You know what it's like to feel out of breath. You know when to stop and bring your heart rate down and go again. So you can up the regularity of it. Now, if you're really stuck for time and you can't add a third or fourth or even fifth training session into your week, then you up the intensity on the 2 or 3 sessions that you're doing a week. So if you train on a Monday, Wednesday, or a Thursday, or a Tuesday and a Saturday, and that's the only time you can train, yeah, if you can train more than that, but for 101 reasons you can't, if that's the case, then you up the intensity of your workout. And the intensity should be your rate of perceived exertion. If your workouts always feel like a 7 out of 10 in terms of effort, 10 being the highest, ramp it up. Increase your body weight exercises, increase the weight of the dumbbell or the weights on the machine, or decrease your recovery time between sets. Yeah. Find out what your maximal heart rate is and work towards 75-80% of your maximal heart rate when you're working on your cardiovascular fitness. Yeah. Don't go for all-out sprints. You're not a combat athlete. You're not a footballer, a basketballer, or a tennis player. You're that normal person who goes to work and sits down all day. So, yep, week 5 to week 8, you up the regularity. You go from 2 sessions to 3 or 3 to 4. If you're stuck for time, just to recap, if you're really stuck for time and you can't increase your days of training, then the days that you're already training twice a week or 3 times a week, you up the intensity. And that'll be more weights, less recovery time, a real dialed in session. Yep. So by now, you've gone through 4 or 5 of the basic principles of weight loss. When it comes to pharmaceuticals, medication, supplements, that should come in at a later time. What I could suggest for men and some women is if after 8 weeks, best part of 2 months of consistent training, you haven't lost any weight at all, and you've not lost any body fat either. That's a rarity. Somebody who's overweight is going to lose weight and or body fat in the first 4 to 8 weeks, almost certain. Okay, if you've not, go and get your blood test done. With your doctor, or go private, go NHS or go private. Go and see your local GP and do some research first, and explain to them that you've taken up a weight loss plan, and and write down, make a note of everything you've done. Now, your local GP ordinarily is not a fitness expert. They're not a dietitian, they're not a nutritionist either. They're general practitioners. But it's incumbent upon your GP or your private physician, or your consultant to listen to you with a degree of empathy, sympathy, a degree of knowledge, and open to referring you to someone else if the GP, or if he or she doesn't know what they're doing. If they don't know the answer, what they should do then is refer you to someone else, a dietitian, nutritionist, a blood specialist. So that's the case. It might cost you anything private between 200 and 400 pound, something like that, maybe more if you're in the middle of an expensive city. That could be the best few £100 you've spent on if you go private. But again, if you go via your NHS, if you go free and you've got to wait, then fine. But make it clear you've put yourself now in the care of another healthcare professional, okay, who's going to take your blood tests, who's going to look at your testosterone levels, estrogen levels, who's going to look at your gonadotropin levels. They could take saliva tests as well. There's a lot of results that are far more conclusive from saliva tests and not just blood tests. So look at that as well. I'd only say you bring that into the equation if you've done everything you can. You've thrown the kitchen sink at it and you've not lost either weight or body fat or visceral fat. None of those 3 readings have budged an inch, okay? Now there may be another reason why I can't think of, other than the fact that you've not trained and you've not exercised and you've eaten poorly. You've only trained once a week, but carried on eating junk food, carried on drinking alcohol. Okay, in that case, then you might feel fitter, but you're not going to lose weight. Weight loss plans shouldn't be sort of a lifetime plan. You should lose that weight, it shouldn't take you the most of your life to lose weight. It should take you anything between 3 months to a year, depending on the severity, the amount of excess weight you're carrying. All right, if you're 20 stone, 22, 23 stone, 25 stone even, if you're 130, 140 kilos, it's going to take you up to 2 years, possibly even 3 years. But in that time, you'll get stronger, fitter, lighter, more mobile, more flexible. You'll be more useful. Yeah? If you are healthier and fitter and stronger and more flexible and mobile, purely from a physiological standpoint, you are now more useful. Because what you don't want to be is useless, or you don't want to be that person that has no use to yourself, let alone anyone else. Yeah? The moment you start getting healthier, over a space of time, you'll become more useful to yourself and more useful to a second or third party. That's just physiology, yeah, not an ideology. All right, weight loss plans, write them down, share them with your friend and get going. All right, that's today's short episode. My name's Tristan Lowe. I'm a professional personal trainer with 17 years of training clients under my belt, and about 41, 42 years now of exercise. I started at 11, I'm now 55 years young, so I've been training a long time. All right, you can catch me on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, the channel's Health No Filter. If you'd like to contact me, then just feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, make a comment, or you can get me on, you can email me on info@goodcondition.co.uk. I'll be happy to answer any questions you've got. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Till the next one, stay fit and healthy. Love your friends and family. Bye for now.